Hi everyone, welcome to Go Classes. Let's solve this question. This is a GATE 2002 question from DBMS subject. In this question, a relation is given to you in which we have five attributes L, M, N, O, P, and the functional dependencies are given. M determines O, NO determines P, P determines L determines Mn. And the decomposition is given to you. This relation is decomposed into two sub-relations. So this is a binary decomposition you can notice. And the question is asking whether this decomposition is lossless, lossy, dependency preserving or not, and what is the highest normal form of this question, okay, of this decomposition. So let's see one by one. So first you can notice the relation that is given to you. This is LMNOP. This LMNOP. This is the relation given, and the set of functional dependencies is also given to us. And this set of functional dependencies is M determines O. Okay, these are the functional dependencies. So these are the functional dependencies that are given to us, and this is the decomposition. So we can notice, first of all, this is a binary decomposition, and because this is a binary decomposition, so in the binary decomposition, if you want to check lossless or lossy, that is very simple. All you have to do is find the common. What is the common set of attributes in these two relations? So if you find the common set of attributes, that is M. So what is R1 intersection R2? So the R1 intersection R2 is simply M. Okay, this is the common set of attributes in R1 comma R2. Now, okay, now let's see whether this common set of attributes is the super key in R1 or R2. Yes, you can notice M can determine O. Because M can determine O, so I can say that M can determine M can determine O. This is nothing but your R2. So I can say that R1 intersection R2, this common set of attributes can determine R2. So that is the reason. This is the reason I can say that this decomposition is actually lossless. So this decomposition is lossless because in this binary decomposition, the set of common attributes between these two sub-relations is super key in this relation. Okay, so that is the reason this decomposition is actually lossless. Okay, now let's see this same decomposition, is it dependency preserving or not? So what we need to do for this dependency preserving, we need to find out what are the functional dependencies which are applicable on R1 and what are the functional dependencies which are applicable on R2. Okay, so what are the functional dependencies which are applicable on R1? So on R1, the functional dependencies which are applicable, you can notice L, M, N, P. So we can see that L can determine Mn, because we already know that L can determine Mn. So L can determine Mn, and you can notice that, okay, what else M can determine? So you can notice here, from here you can notice L can determine Mn. And so actually if you find out what is L plus will be L, M, N, and M can determine O, NO can determine P, P can determine L. So basically we got all the things. Okay, so L can determine M, N, P. Okay, all these things can be determined by L. L can determine L, M, P. Okay, M and P. And you can notice anything else. So this functional dependency is already covered. And what about P determines L? Yes, P determines L, this is also covered. So this dependency is also covered. NO determines P, that is also covered. Okay, so let's see whether NO determines P, is it covered or not? Okay, so what you can do here, so this is, okay, in these, okay, in this relation R1, what else is what other functional dependency is applicable on this relation R1? Let's find it out. So you can notice that M can determine O, okay, and then nothing else. So you can notice NO can determine P. So here you can notice NO can determine P, but we don't have N. Okay, in this relation we don't have O. Okay, so these are the functional dependencies which are applicable. Okay, P can determine L, and also of course P can determine, if you find out what is P plus, then P plus will give you P, L, M, N. Okay, so O, everything. So P can also determine, I can say L, M, N. This P also can determine L, M, N. Okay, so this is the whole point, you can notice. Okay, and NO can determine P, that is fine because we don't have O here. So I can say that these are the functional dependencies which are applicable on this relation R1. And what are the functional dependencies which are applicable on this relation R2? So you can notice M determines O. This is applicable on relation R2. Nothing else is applicable, you can check it out. So finally what I can say that this functional dependency is covered. This functional dependency is also covered by F1 union F2. So this F1 union F2, this does not cover actually. If you find out in this F1 union F2, if you find out what is NO plus, so what that will be. Let's find out what is NO plus. NO will give you NO, nothing else you can get. Okay, because you cannot get P. So this is the point that this in this F1 union F2, I can say F1 union F2 doesn't cover. This doesn't cover this functional dependency. So this doesn't cover NO determines P. This functional dependency is not covered in this decomposition. So I can say this decomposition is actually non-dependency preserving. Okay, so first of all, this is lossless. Yes, we have already seen this is lossless. So is this lossless? Yes, this is lossless. And this is not a dependency preserving decomposition. And you can notice this dependency is not preserved. Okay, so the question is asking list all the dependencies that are not preserved. So I can say that this NO determines P, this dependency is not preserved by this decomposition. Okay, and also the question is asking what is the highest normal form. So let's see what is the highest normal form here. So from this actually you can find it out. Okay, we have already seen these are the, so now once we have seen this, now let's see what is the highest normal form. So this decomposition is lossless, but this decomposition is not functional, is not dependency preserving. And you can notice here we only have two attributes. So because we have two attributes, so this is in BCNF. This I can say this relation R2, this is in BCNF, because every relation in which we have two attributes, every relation with the two attributes is in BCNF. So this is actually in BCNF. Okay, and you can also see, let's see this relation R1. So in this relation R1 you find what are the candidate keys. So what are the candidate keys in R1? Let's find it out. So in this relation, what are the candidate keys in R1? In this relation R1, what are the candidate keys? So you can notice L can determine everything, P can determine everything. So I can say L is a candidate key and P is also candidate key. Nothing else is a candidate key. Okay, correct. So this is the point. And you can notice L comma P, these are the candidate keys. And in every, okay, in every functional dependency, the LHS is a candidate key in every functional dependency. So what are the functional dependencies that we have? So these are the non-trivial functional dependencies that we have. Okay, this, and you can notice this, these are the non-trivial functional dependencies. In every non-trivial functional dependency, this is a super key. You can notice this is actually candidate key. So every candidate key is a super key. This is also super key. So I can say this relation R1, this is actually in BCNF, because in every non-trivial functional dependency, the LHS is actually super key. So that is the reason this is also in BCNF, and this R2 is also in BCNF. So I can say the highest normal form is actually BCNF. So what is the highest normal form? This is the BCNF form. Okay. So you can notice this is lossless, dependency not preserved. So you can notice that NO determines P. This is not preserved. This dependency is not preserved. Okay. And in this same question, let me also apply the Chase algorithm. This same question, let's solve using Chase algorithm. So can we solve it using Chase algorithm? Even though, remember, in this question, the binary decomposition is given to you. Because binary decomposition is given, so you don't have to apply the Chase algorithm. You can directly do it, because for the binary decomposition, whether if you want to check lossless or lossy, then you have a direct condition. So this you can do, but let me still apply the Chase algorithm. Okay, so let's check whether lossless or lossy, let's check lossless or lossy using Chase algorithm, using Chase algorithm. So using Chase algo, let's find out whether this is lossless or lossy. Okay, so these are the functional dependencies. Now let's make a table. L, M, N, O, P. These are the attributes. So every column, basically columns correspond to attributes, and the rows will correspond to the decomposition R1, R2. So this decomposition is already given to you. L, M, N, P. So here we will make this entry L, M, N, P, and this is MO. So here we will make this entry. Now, okay, so this is the first step. This is the initialization. Now after this initialization, what we can do? You can notice that M determines O, because M determines O. So what it means that if two rows M value is same, then in these two rows O value also must be same. So this is what we got. We got A here. Okay, and now what else we can do here? From here, what we can do? So you can notice, so this A we got here, remember this A we got here. And now you can notice that from here I can say P determines L, L determines Mn, and you can notice NO determines. So actually you can stop here, actually you can stop here. Why? Because we got all the A. Okay, so this is what we got a row with all A entries, with all A entries. We got row with all A entries. So I can say, because of this situation, because of this, I can say that our decomposition is lossless. And this we have already seen. So using this chess algorithm also you can solve it, and very simple. We got a row. This is a row in which all the A entries we have. So that is the reason I can say that this is a lossless decomposition. Okay. Thank you.